Imagine a loaf of bread so revolutionary that it changed the way Americans ate forever. Wonder Bread wasn't just food, it was a symbol of progress, convenience, and modern living. From its fluffy white slices to its unforgettable slogan, it became a household staple, defining an entire generation's diet. But how did this beloved brand, once hailed as the greatest thing since sliced bread, lose its place on supermarket shelves? The story of Wonder Bread's rise and fall is a tale of innovation, nostalgia, and the ever-changing taste of consumers. Now, few products have embedded themselves into American culture quite like Wonder Bread. More than just a staple in lunchboxes and dinner tables, it became a symbol of industrial progress, convenience, and even American identity. From its origins in the 1920s to its eventual decline in the 21st century, Wonder Bread reflected broader changes in society, from wartime nutrition policies to shifts in consumer health consciousness. For decades, Wonder Bread dominated the market, revolutionizing the way Americans consume bread. It was hailed as a miracle of modern food production, pre-sliced, enriched with vitamins, and widely available. Yet, despite its early success, the very qualities that made it popular ultimately contributed to its decline. This is the story of how Wonder Bread rose to prominence, shaped American eating habits, and eventually fell from grace in the face of changing health trends and consumer preferences. At the turn of the 20th century, bread was still primarily a fresh local product. Families either baked it at home or purchased it daily from neighborhood bakeries. Bread making was a time-consuming process, and each loaf varied in texture and quality. Everything changed though in 1921, when the Taggart Baking Company of Indianapolis introduced Wonder Bread. The name was inspired by a sense of awe and innovation, reportedly conceived after executive Elmer Klein saw hundreds of colorful balloons at the Indianapolis Speedway. The brand quickly adopted the iconic red, yellow, and blue balloon design, which would become one of the most recognizable food logos in history. What truly set Wonder Bread apart, however, was its introduction of pre-sliced bread in 1928. Thanks to Otto Frederick Rohwedder's bread slicing machine, Wonder Bread became one of the first mass-produced pre-sliced loaves on the market. The innovation was so impactful that it led to the now famous saying. Now, the convenience of pre-sliced bread revolutionized the industry, making sandwiches easier to prepare and reducing waste. The bread was also uniform in size and texture, setting it apart from traditional, irregularly shaped loaves. In 1925, the Continental Baking Company acquired Wonder Bread and rapidly expanded its production across the United States. By the 1930s, Wonder Bread had become a household name available in grocery stores nationwide. The brand's success was fueled by aggressive marketing campaigns that highlighted the bread's soft texture, long shelf life, and enriched nutrients. These features appealed to busy families seeking convenience and nutrition in their everyday meals. Wonder Bread's reliable quality and ability to stay fresh for longer made it an indispensable pantry staple during a time when time-saving products were in high demand. During the Great Depression and World War II, malnutrition became a major concern in the United States. Many Americans lacked essential vitamins and minerals, leading to widespread health issues such as anemia and rickets. In response, the US government mandated the fortification of white bread with iron, niacin, thiamine, and riboflavin. This move helped combat nutritional deficiencies and position Wonder Bread as a health-conscious choice rather than just a convenience food. Soldiers during World War II often received enriched white bread as part of their rations, further ingraining its role in American diets. By the time the war ended, Wonder Bread was seen as an essential household item, a product that provided both convenience and nutrition. By the 1950s and 1960s, Wonder Bread had solidified its position at the peak of American consumer culture. It wasn't just bread, it was an emblem of the American dream. Wonder Bread's smooth texture, uniform slices, and brightly colored packaging made it a symbol of convenience and modern living. It became a staple in American households, often found in school lunches, TV dinners, and family breakfasts. Its marketing campaigns were bold and highly effective, leveraging television, radio, and print ads to build brand recognition. The iconic slogan, "Helps build strong bodies 12 ways," emphasized the bread's enriched vitamins and minerals, aiming to position Wonder Wonder Bread as a health-conscious choice. Another memorable campaign, Wonder helps your child grow up big and strong, targeted concerned parents looking to feed their children nutritious meals. The baby boomer generation grew up with Wonder Bread, associating it with progress, cleanliness, and a prosperous suburban lifestyle. For many, it became synonymous with childhood meals, including peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, grilled cheese, and bologna. By the 1960s and 1970s, cracks began to form in Wonder Bread's empire. As awareness of nutrition grew, a wave of skepticism swept across processed foods, including Wonder Bread. Studies increasingly highlighted the benefits of whole grain bread, which contained more fiber and essential nutrients compared to the refined white bread that Wonder had made famous. Health-conscious consumers, particularly middle-class Americans, began turning away from mass-produced bread in favor of homemade options or locally baked artisanal loaves. Bread, once a symbol of convenience and modernity, was now being scrutinized for its lack of nutritional value. As families embrace healthier eating habits, Wonder Bread, despite its long history as a staple in American households, began to lose favor. It was no longer seen as the ideal choice for nutrition, and many Americans returned to baking their own bread or supporting small independent bakeries. The 1970s and 1980s marked a shift in American culture as the country became more ethnically diverse. Immigrants from Latin America, Asia, and the Mediterranean brought with them new culinary traditions, including a variety of breads and grains. This diversification of the American diet had a significant impact on Wonder Bread's dominance. As people began to experiment with different types of bread, such as pita, tortillas, sourdough, and rye, Wonder Bread no longer held the same iconic status. It ceased to be seen as the universal standard bread for all Americans, becoming just one of many options. As these new influences took hold, American consumers sought healthier, more flavorful alternatives, leaving Wonder Bread increasingly sidelined. The rise of global flavors and diverse eating habits contributed to Wonder Bread's decline as it struggled to adapt to a rapidly changing food landscape. By the 1990s and early 2000s, Wonder Bread faced its biggest challenge yet: the rise of low-carb diets. The Atkins diet and later the keto diet encouraged people to eliminate bread and refined carbohydrates. Wonder Bread, with its high carb content and refined flour, became a prime target for health-conscious consumers. At the same time, the gluten-free movement was gaining traction. More Americans were diagnosed with celiac disease or gluten sensitivities, further reducing demand for traditional white bread. In 2012, Hostess Brands, the parent company of Wonder Bread, declared bankruptcy, sending shockwaves through the food industry. For years, Wonder Bread had been a household name, symbolizing convenience and American tradition. But as the health-conscious movement gained momentum, consumer preferences began to change. People were turning away from mass-produced white bread in favor of whole-grain, artisanal, and healthier alternatives. The sudden disappearance of Wonder Bread from grocery store shelves left loyal customers stunned. Though the brand was eventually revived after being acquired by Flowers Foods, its previous dominance in the market was never fully regained. The once iconic Wonder Bread now faced an increasingly fragmented and health-focused bread market, marking the end of an era in American food history. Wonder Bread's rise and fall reflect larger shifts in American culture, health trends, and consumer preferences. It was once a revolutionary product, symbolizing progress and convenience. It survived wartime rationing, the baby boomer era, and the rise of mass marketing, but ultimately, it couldn't keep up with the evolving food landscape. While Wonder Bread still exists today, it's no longer the dominant force it once was. Its story is a reminder of how consumer habits can change, how food trends evolve, and how even the most iconic brands are not immune to decline. For many, Wonder Bread remains a nostalgic memory, a symbol of childhood sandwiches and simpler times. But its fall serves as a lesson. No matter how big a product becomes, it must adapt to survive. The rise and fall of Wonder Bread is more than just a story about a brand. It's a reflection of changing tastes, cultural shifts, and the evolution of American society. Once at the pinnacle of convenience and tradition, Wonder Bread's decline mirrors the growing emphasis on health, diversity, and homemade authenticity in modern times. While its slices may no longer dominate breakfast tables, Wonder Bread's legacy still lingers in the world of food innovation. Its journey reminds us that even the most iconic brands must adapt to survive in an ever-changing world. What will the future of bread look like? Only time will tell. So, would you still choose Wonder Bread today? Let us know in the comments down below, and if you enjoy this documentary, don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more fascinating food history stories. Thank you for watching.